Good morning and welcome to our daily Money Habits broadcast. My name is Joannazarach and I scope daily talking about money habits. So what is money habits? It's really a set of activities or a set of actions that you take on a regular basis to look after your own money. And one of the things that people do is that they put off money issues or money problems or money challenges for a long time. And so what I want people to do is to take control over their financial lives. And so what I talk about on Mondays is mint.com. So it's Mint or some equivalent. I know that there are other tools, but the basics of Mint and what I want to talk about is sort of the stages of becoming a Mint lifer or whatever you would do. So one of the things is you want to do the first step is, open your account, right? So like always get started. And I know sometimes it's a little bit intimidating because it's a bunch of steps, but the sooner you start, the less complex your financial life is. And the sooner you start on Mint, the more you'll be able to actually get value out of it, where you'll, over time, you will be able to add all the accounts that you open. So for me, there are four categories of accounts that I have on Mint. So obviously, the first one is banking. So that's all your cash accounts, right? So I have my emergency savings. I have a 5-year CD that I keep true emergency savings, like rainy day and flood. And then all my checking accounts, right? They do day checking accounts. And again, when you're just yourself and it's just one account, then it seems simple. But if you have a spouse, a partner, then kids, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, they have an account, and then I have the savings account. So the other thing, it helps you keep track of all your accounts. So all the banking accounts, I also have my business accounts on there because I just want to see all the transactions that are happening so I can keep track of them. So that's one area. Credit cards is my next big one, right? Know all your credit cards. And I know there are a few credit cards that don't sync well with Mint. Don't use that as an excuse, right? So put all your credit cards on there. And again, once you partner with someone, you want to have a good partnership and have the transparency into where the money's going. Also, it helps you keep track of your business account. But that way, you always see what your outstanding debt is, right? Because those are the things that I want you to be able to answer. How much cash you have, what is your outstanding debt, current debt, which is credit card debt. The next is any investments account you have. So most of the 401k plans and brokerages, they will let you sync up your account into Vanguard. Not all. So get your investment accounts on there or whatever retirement accounts, so you know where your assets are. And then last part, so there are liabilities. So there's mortgage. You can see what your mortgage balance is, right? Would you have student loans? What those are? So just a snapshot. And then I really like the manual entry of other property. So if you own property, real estate property, you can put it in there. And I love how they sync with Zillow, and it gives you an updated value. So it's not always the exact value, but you can see with over the years, it'll go up and down. Cars, if you put your car, I think they have a Kelley Blue Book value, put it in there, see how it compares to maybe the loan that you own on it. You can also, what I also use that section for is any investment accounts that don't sync. Because I don't need to know day to day. I just want to know, hey, I have this account and it won't sync with Mint, but I want to know that it's there. And maybe I'll update it manually quarterly if it's a stock price or something like that. And again, so any other weird things that you feel like is an asset or liability, you can counter. So the thing that you should pay attention to on Mint, so first set it up and then get an idea of where your net worth is, your cash balances, your outstanding liability, both short-term and long-term. And again, I talk in sort of corporate terms because that's how I think of my household, like a corporation. And then what do I do day to day? So once you've gotten kind of through all of the, you've worked out all the glitches and you've signed up all your accounts and you're like, okay, I'm confident all my stuff's on here and I have a good financial picture. Now you have to figure out what is your cash flow, so inflows and outflows. And most people know their salary, right? If you get a paycheck, you know what it is. But if you have sort of side jobs or anything else, that will help you keep track as you're depositing the money as it's coming in. The other thing is I go in there and I just track and categorize the expenses. Why? Because when you first start using Mint, what you're really looking for is where your money's going. right? And so look at your categories, like be aware of where your spending is. Why? Because I don't want to guess at. I don't want to just look at last month's bill and be like, oh, that's my ComEd bill, it's my electricity bill. I can just look up, search by ComEd, and I'll pull up all my bills, and I can go, okay, average, I spend this much. And so when I'm budgeting, I can get a sense of what are my kind of fixed living expenses without having to look at just the last bill, what if it was like unusual, so I can get an average really quickly. And then so that's when you're kind of developing your budget. This is a very easy way to look up like where your money's going, because you can categorize, you can look at the categories and see where it's going. So what's your mortgage or rent? What are all your living expenses? Oh, condo fees, I always forget about those. On real estate taxes, I only pay those twice a year. So count that all in, and then you'll be able to develop your budget. And then to make sure that you're staying in the budget. So if you're trying to control your expenses or just track them in some category, like going out, right? People always talk about going out. Well, how much do you really spend, right? Like know it, like mark your going out expenses, mark your groceries, mark whatever, and say, look, we as a family or I as an individual spend $300 or $800 or whatever it is a month, and then accept it. That's part of your lifestyle, and make sure that you understand that you have to earn enough money to maintain your lifestyle. So that's one of the things that I figured out is what's my monthly lifestyle expense, and that's everything. And, what is the take home, and what am I going to need to make? Because I look at it backwards. Like I don't look at the money and think about what I'm going to spend it on. I also always think of like, how much am I spending, and what do I need to do to go out and earn it? And like, is this sustainable for the long term, right? I'm always looking out for the long term. So what I do on Mint every day, I go in, I look at my transactions, I categorize them, I look at my budgets, are we over, are we under, and that's it. And check my net worth, and that kind of fluctuates with the market. I don't worry too much about it. And the bottom line is I encourage everybody to use Mint. And if you use it already, great. You're already probably way ahead of a lot of other people. So that's the other thing. If you take the action of taking this and following the mint.com or any other planning, you're way ahead of other people, probably top 5% in terms of taking action. So thank you for joining. If you like this content and you want to follow, swipe right on Apple or up on Android, follow. And I'm here every day, 10 a.m. Central Time, talking about money habits and talking to you about money management. So thank you so much for joining again, and I'll see you tomorrow.